Buenos dios. Buenos dios. Buenos dios. What it is, what it was, and what it shall be. What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Dr. Will Rogers, a.k.a. Master Teacher 33. And today is Thursday, Janus the 27th, 2022. And the time is 1 p.m. Central. As always, brothers, we've got a powerful message. We're going to jump right in. This is day 4 of our 21-day journey through the cisterns that brings about replenishment of the soul as a result of control. And remember, the definition of control in one word is a mind that is full. So control means that you have total mastery because your mind is full. Once the mind becomes full, there's no room for shenanigans. And once you are able to over and understand that the reticular formation is how the universe is tied to consciousness and how consciousness is tied to the universe through the occult art of what we call linguistics. And whether or not we get into the lower level form of linguistics that we was talking about yesterday with like David Wynn Miller and breaking down the way that linguistics work on a lower level, which unlocks the reticular activating system because it gets you out of Groundhog's Day from the way by which you and I communicate. So the ancient Egyptians, they understood, or they put inside of hieroglyphics certain images or symbols that represented the reticular formation, which that was in the form of like a man with a hawk head, and that hawk head represented the reticular formation. So the reticular formation represents what I call the reptile or the reptilians. Now, I'm not talking about necessarily the race of reptilians. I'm talking about the triune brain that brings us or gives us what I would call a reptilian formation, as above, so below, which is the brain stem, and the brain stem is called the throne of God. So today we want to go back just a little bit and talk about what's inside of the book, Cladonomics, the Cladonomics Temple Builders Blueprint for Success. Now, there's a book that I wrote a long time ago that was breaking down, and it had, back then I had 12 principles, to deal with the 12 strands of the DNA and also the 12 chakras. I did make that book available, so it's at the website, masterteacher33.com. You just click on the link, and it's free. Now, if you're part of the Life Management System, you already got the book. But inside the book, it deals with 4 of the major contracts that limit our expression because we are not exercising verbology. We're not a verbologist. So we're not a vibeologist, and we don't understand vibeology. So we don't understand tribeology, and we're not a tribologist. So these are all terms, frequencies, waves of vibration that forces the reticular formation. So this is a rectangular formation. So the word reticular and the word rectangular are similar. And so what we're talking about today is this is done through a specific oral configurations that we talked about and mentioned on yesterday's show as we talked about the development, again, of control, putting you in a place where your act, remember like occult art is an act of creation. When you see art, you're engaging in the act of creation. Again, every time you see art, it is the act. Art is the act. Art and act, they brothers. So the dominant culture uses art to perform an act of destruction instead of creation. So what we are engaging in is removing the reptilian shadow ego. or the negative habit pattern. And this reptilian shadow ego, or this negative habit pattern, we are removing it. And the way that we are removing it is by using, again, what we call linguistics. And so today, brothers and sisters, is very important. So we look at the 4 contracts that we want to replace. Now, we have already replaced all of the contracts, right? We went through the saying that said, I cancel all contracts that are known and unknown. Anything that is not benevolent, that's not moving me in the direction of my purpose, I cancel all contracts. Those are all energy signatures, known and unknown, that are not benevolent, that is not moving me in the direction of fulfilling my God-given destiny and my God-given purpose. If you haven't done that and made that statement, please do that. Please just, however you want to verbalize it, how you doing is just saying, hey, I'm just interested in hanging out with the big G. Now, later on, I may get into what is called Bantu. And I'm not sure if you guys have heard of what is called Bantu. So Bantu is an ancient African language that was transliterated into what we call Aramaic, which is what Jesus supposedly taught. So the Bantu languages, because what we're talking about is languages. Because remember, we're up against a linguistical God who has used them and created an entirely new language. This is Babel. And that language that the dominant culture, we want to use that term, has created limits. And now you are connected through linguistics or language. That I'm going to use the word federal postal court system, which is nothing but a prison or a prism. So that way you can become ineffective. What we talked about yesterday, remember? The dominant culture, whoever they are, they want to make sure that you are in survival. So that way they can manipulate, create control via contracts. So that way they can departmentalize or compartmentalize, create chaos, and then collect. And this is all about collection. But it's about the collection of the chi. So that way you cannot be. And so as we talk about breaking down this collection of chi by using language or linguistics, everything that we're talking about is about language and about linguistics. Now again, I'm not going to give you or come at it from a quantum dictionary perspective where we're breaking down the correct sentence structure so that way you can communicate via what is called syntax grammar. All of this is broken down way more eloquently by Judge David Wynn Miller. If you're interested in that, again, the website, the links, I can include that. Or you can just Google the name. And especially if you go to YouTube, there's a lot of great YouTube videos. And there are some people who are, into that. And that is awesome because it gives you a deeper understanding of the linguistical whole that you are in. And then you may want to pursue or try to exit out of this linguistical diatribe by understanding, overstanding, and understanding that we live in a system that's based upon rules. But these rules are not based upon the lawgiver or the logos. These rules are based upon legal ease. That means a language that is devoid of the frequency of light. So you're not using your light codes. The Bantu language is one of the basic languages of the Bantoid group that was based down in, the Congo. It's in the continent of Africa. And these Bantu people were the original Zulu language people, if you want to use that term. And the Zulu people had a specific language that was, I'm going to use the word, stolen and transliterated into Aramaic, then Hebrew, then Greek. And so it's very difficult to find, the original Bantu languages because most people have not done the migration. So everything in the Bible is talking about the Bantu people. Now, it's extremely important, brothers and sisters, because there is a Bantu Bible that breaks down a lot of, again, the transliterations that you and I talk about. Now, what do you believe? Another study for another time. But the Christ in the Bantu language, before it was transliterated into the Hebrew language, this is called the hermeneutics in or of Africa. Now, the reason why I'm expressing this is because these are another layers of contracts. Contracts is nothing but hermeneutics. Hermeneutics is nothing but language. So when we transfer certain things into what is called a vernacular, that changes the implications of the communication. Now, this goes way beyond most people's pay grade. If I was to go deeply into this, you guys would get bored and fall asleep. Because most of this deals with the functional or the functionality of how to rewrite the reticular activating system by introducing oral configurations. Oral configurations is how you configure your hermeneutics, or how you configure, because remember, there are hermeneutical or hermeneutics, which is nothing but those 7 main principles, which are nothing but contracts. So everything that we're talking about is based upon contract law. So the hermeneutics of the Bible, which is a method of interpretation. Hermeneutics is a method by which and how which your methodology of perception and interpretation is established. So this is called the interpretive principles. I wish you could understand. And I know you can understand. Now, in order for us to understand, this simply means comprehension. So your comprehension, your ability to comprehend has been, how can I put this delicately, predetermined. I would say manipulated, sprinkling a little confusion. And so that's what we're talking about today. Your contract is based upon the fact that your hermeneutics, your ability, how you perceive, as we talked about in the previous show, remember, a contract is based upon the value of each word that is established by the pen. A contract, by definition, is a word that has the last 2 letters that ends in a vowel and a consonant. A contract. So I'm using words. Some of them may not end in a vowel and a consonant. They may not be a contract, but they do have energy behind the word. And that energy that's behind the word, according to the Bantu language, brings about and establishes a specific plane, Plane, like a flat plane, like a piece of paper. A paper is a vessel. The hieroglyphics, the letters, and the dead definitions that are placed on the plane or the vessel establishes the communication. It's like earth is a vessel. And you put words on that vessel, and they are carried out to sea. That's chattel or cargo. So my job and your job is to understand that, okay, some things have already been established for you. Now, we don't have time to go into the throne of God. from the perspective of what we talked about yesterday, the ram, the goat, is symbolically the hippocampus and the female reproductive system. Because the hippocampus controls the spirit, the female productive system controls the physical. So when you look at Aries, the ram, that's what Moses always picks it with ram's horn because it represents Ammon. So Ammon's horns and the female productive, but Ammon's horn, remember, is the hippocampus and the amygdala and the hypothalamus. This gets into understanding what is called the throne of God. So the brain stem, which is what we're talking about, because that's how the reticular activating system established the thalamus, the pineal gland, which is called the midbrain. Now we got the post or the amygdala. All of this is part of the brain. So all I'm simply saying is we could go through and we could look at this. All of Egypt is talking about the brain. Every hieroglyphic, every time you see an acorn, every time you see a serpent, even the dollar sign represents, again, a pole and a serpent. Everything on this planet is designed to keep you from understanding the word alchemy. And inside the word alchemy, because that's what this is an alchemical process. And if you just move the letters around, you get a totally different meaning based upon this word alchemy. My job and your job is to not jump into alchemy, but to understand symbols. The Egyptian headdress, it's a symbol. And it's a symbol of the brain if you was to cut it in half. And now you can see how energy enters in and out of the body. If you look at the skull, and if you look at the Ark of the Covenant, and if you go to Egypt and you see the skull separated, inside of the brain, you will see what is called a sphenoid bone. And you could also look at that and you can see how everything that's in the Bible is also in the body. So, but as we talked about before with the fornix, and as we talked about, inside of the pineal gland with the little gland inside of the middle of the brain. So the reptilian brain, if we look at all of, as I posted this before, the images of the Alien movie, the alien has this big, long, elongated head. Remember all of the movies of the Alien? Well, that is an image of your reptilian brain. But they just took that image out of your head and they put it on a body and they made movies out of it. So all of the alien movies is about the brain. Everything in Egypt, I can go through all of the images of Egypt, especially when you look at the midbrain and when you look at the limbic system, what you are looking at, knowingly or unknowingly, is the human brain. So now we can sit there, we could go through all the images, but this is an audio show, but I'm not able to show you these images. Most of these images I've placed on, Facebook before, which is already done YouTube videos. We look at the allegory between the third eye simulation example and Jesus Christ. All of these are what though? Contracts. So every time you see a symbol, what it does is it brings about a communication. The communication brings about a connection. The connection is a contract because a contract is an agreement between the symbol and you, your perception. So your perception creates an electrical current. That electrical current that is created, that's called Galilee. Galilee in the ancient text means circuit or circle. Galilee. So the brain is a Galilee because the brain is a circuit. And the brain and a circuit is nothing but an electrical magnetic device. The Ankh. The Ankh is an electrical magnetic device. You are the Ankh. You are an electrical magnetic device. You have sodium and potassium. You have electricity and magnetism. You are Matthew 38. You are Matthew 6:22. If an eye be single, your body will be full of light. Meaning, if you connect the circuit You activate or you turn on the light. Because in order for an electrical circuit to turn on the light, it has to connect. Thank you, Big G. Now, what does that mean? Well, the true image of source, and I'm not talking about the image as far as a picture, I'm talking about the image as far as your perception. That's what we're talking about. Because what does it do? That activates or that assists the lymph nodes in the body. Because the lymph nodes are lymph nodes. Your lymphatic system has to be detoxed. And language is the best way by which to detox the hypothalamus, which consists of the anterior and the posterior pituitary. So the neurons that produce hormones that's released from your balls in your brain, which is the pituitary gland, because they look like, two scrotums. But it is electricity and magnetism. It is male and female. It is a husband and a wife. But it's inside the brain. So what does the pituitary gland affect? Well, it affects a lot of your hormones. In fact, all of your hormones are produced by the pituitary gland. That is the I am system that the Bible talks about in Exodus chapter 3:14. Now, what does this mean when it comes time to me pay my light bill? Well, what this means is you have the ability to solve problems or you have the ability to create them. It connects you to what is called the tree of knowledge or the tree of life. So that means that you have the ability to make good decisions or you don't because of the expulsion system. That's you. That means you are a electrical magnetic propulsion device. You're supposed to be exposing and expressing. So I find someone who have low expression. They don't understand that that you are an individual expression of source on earth. So what happened to you? Well, you got stuck in the 13 enemies of your expression. Arrogance, conceited, selfish, greed, lust. These are the fruit of the flesh. We can go through them, but you can look them up yourself. The point is an Adam and an ether and an Adam and Eve. So ATOM and ETHER are ADAM and EVE. Let me say it again slowly. Because this is about Adam and Eve story in the Bible is about an ATOM, Adam, and Eve, an ether. Let me say it again. This is the contract. You are unknowingly violating the contract. You're an electrical magnetic propulsion device. And you are knowingly or unknowingly stopping your propulsion. You're not propelling. You're not propelling. You are not moving forward. I mean, not you personally, but, people you know. So my job is to assist you with your production. So you should be doing what I do. Number one, get attention. Number two, offer value. That's it. Anybody want to be successful? Let me give you the secret to success. Adam, get attention. Eve, offer value. This is what I've been doing for 25, 30 years now. If you do those two things, you never work again. Not for somebody else, unless you want to. Let me say it again. You cannot be in Groundhog's Day. You cannot experience fear, doubt, and unbelief. You cannot have any lack because if you hold it in your head, Adam, it manifests in your hands, Eve. So Adam and Eve is the atom and the ether. So the ether is made up of nothing but atoms. The ether is Eve, and the atom is Adam. So the ether is the feminine expression. That's why the universe needs feminine wisdom. Because that represents control and replenish. Because the only way to replenish the earth is by you need the feminine expression. Because women give birth. And now I'm giving birth with my vocal cords. Because the vocal cords, my vocal cords, and your vocal cords look exactly like the feminine expression. Just look exactly like the vagina. And so it's not rocket science, but it is rocket science. Because it's so simple that it's hard. So if we go back to my book that I wrote, and again, just go to the website, Master Teacher 33. On the home page, you guys already have the book entitled The Blueprint to Success. So in this book, The Blueprint to Success, I break down what we are doing wrong. And I gave you 15 chapters, really 20, but 12 principles, I should say, to assist you with making the correction inside of you. Everybody has to make this adjustment because we are all individual expressions of God on earth. Once you understand that, okay, I am an individual expression of God on earth. So what does that mean? Well, that just simply means that there are 4 mental dispositions that are stopping you from being successful in life. These mental dispositions are the inability to communicate due to your rectangle formation that you've established, which created an emotional block. These are your emotional cords. I'll talk about this inside of the soul ties, demonic soul ties, and emotional cords. So these demonic soul ties, remember the word demonic, simply means disposition. So you've made it a contract with a soul tie. And it only comes up when you are in a state of total unconditional love and acceptance, meaning you cannot address these issues unless you are in a relationship with yourself or you are in a relationship with someone else that creates a Garden of Eden or that creates an environment, especially ladies. This is why, ladies, it's difficult for you to move forward because there are emotional blocks. That's the result of a bad relationship that you had with yourself or with someone else. And they hurt you very deeply. So you have a guard up. You have your fence up. That is a demonic soul tie. That is an emotional cord. So your emotional blocks are emotional contracts, which are emotional cords, C-H-O-R-D. It is a frequency, a wave of vibration that connects you to that emotion. And every time I touch that emotion, bam, up pops up that vibrational resistance or that cord. You get pissed off. I notice it all the time. Whenever things is going really, 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 really good in my relationship, in my marriage, bam, something that's hidden that happened 10 years ago pops up. And the wife wants to talk about it. So I just create a space because I can't solve it because she has to release it. And that emotional block or that emotional contract is why you're not able to replenish your energy. There will always be a void in your soul. There will always be a hole in your heart. Today is my daughter Shamura's birthday. My son took a trip to Las Vegas. Not Las Vegas, to L.A. Her siblings, my children, we were talking earlier last night and this morning. There's a lot of emotion that pops up. This emotion, and also thanks Brother Travis for that image that shows the dollar bill and the fact that it represents the 2 bars of the dollar bill represents again those 2 frequencies, and that's controlled by the sine wave or the snake. And it's very interesting because all of these symbols create contracts. A contract is nothing but the way by which we communicate with each other. And that image said, that image was a Civil War flag. Oh, wow. So I didn't even know that they had the snake and 2 bars, like they have basically a dollar symbol on the Civil War flag. As the image that was just shared with me by Brother Travis. Thank you so much, Brother Travis. And again, all of these symbols, that's how I communicate with you. But I'm communicating with you for 4 reasons. If I'm the bad guy. Now, remember, I'm making this book free today. All you got to do is go to the website, masterteacher36.com. On the home page, there's a blue book entitled Blueprint for Success, How to Remove Limiting Beliefs. In this book, Blueprint to Success. Now, this book is one of the few books that I put on Amazon. You can go on Amazon as well and pick up a copy of this book. In this book, I explain the 4 contracts or the 4 demons or dispositions that are limiting your vibrational expression. And it's very, very important, brothers, because these frequencies, these waves, and these vibrations that are limiting your expression, you have to cancel those contracts, but you can't because they buried so deep because it happened to you when you was a child, probably. So you don't have access to it until you get in a relationship with somebody who makes you feel comfortable. They make you feel safe. So that mental disposition, remember, mental disposition means con. Con means to swindle. Troll means demon. Number 1, arrogance controls wealth. Now, let me make sure you understand. You cannot be wealthy and be arrogant. Now, remember, wealth is different from just money. If you just want just money, okay, that's different. Wealth is money and happiness and peace because you dealt with those underlying demons that pop up when you get money. So the higher up the ladder we go in our relationship, the more dispositions pop up. And it's interesting because I just sit back and I just wait for them to pop up. Because when the demon exposes itself, bam, that's when you can chop his head off. That means you can deal with it. So with my children, there's guilt associated with my daughter's passing, especially my oldest daughter. So my job is to create a peaceful environment, which I do, so that the enemy can pop up. But I can't disconnect that cord because that emotional cord, that demon that you got, that disposition that you are connected with, it gives you something. That's why it's your friend. So if I remove it, like the Matrix, I could fracture your soul, meaning that we create, remember, if you clean your house, 7 demons worse than the one that you got rid of come back. So I can't do that for you, even though I know how. So that's the reason why I do not help people. I take you to the door, but I do not open it. But remember, back in the day when I wanted to save everybody, I used to do that. And I learned the hard way, like the Bible says. Cast your pearls among swine, they turn around and the Bible says run. That means they run over you. That means that they blame you. So arrogance, number 1. Arrogance controls wealth. When you are arrogant, you can't be wealthy. Now, it's very different. If you look at the word arrogance, it's the word air gone. So, arrogance is the word argon or aragon. Aragon. Or argon. That's the Greek word, argon. Look at the word, the archons. So it's called test the minds of your people. Let me speak slowly and clearly so you can understand, especially if you have a money issue. When you sign a contract with the archons, remember we did the show on the archons, A-R-C-H-O-N. That means arch, A-R-C-H, on, or archetype, arch on. Now remember the arch, that means original demons. The word arch, look it up in the Greek. Wait with the word ergon. Ergon. Remember we're talking about arrogance. Arrogance is ergon. Remember, because we're talking about syntax. We're talking about David Miller's system. Syntax. Now this shit, I ain't going to even start talking about that because we're going to mess you up. Not from the perspective of, you can understand it from the perspective of this shit is deep. You get caught in, you start studying this, and 10 years later you'll come out. But you can't pay your light bill with this. So I just want to help you pay your light bill on time. So what we got to do? Well, we got to identify and we got to remove all limiting beliefs. Because that's energy. There's an energy and there's an emotional block, but it's on a cellular level. It's on your DNA. So you're dealing with this shit in your brain and in your head, and it's on a biological level. Remember we talked about yesterday. We're starting on the biological level. These are the 12 principles that I use that I term cladonomics, which is behavior modification. So I don't do therapy. I do theripo. So theripo is the ability for you to think outside the box. Of all traditional psychology and all religion, So now I'm on a frequency, a wave or a vibration that is outside of the box. That's the whole purpose of the book. So number one, ergon, archon, or arrogance is a contract that you sign when you are arrogant. When I see somebody who is arrogant, what you are seeing and what you're talking to is a day moon. It's a day walker. It's a diamond. That's why diamonds are a girl's best friend. Ladies, that's why you like diamonds. You don't even know why. Because diamonds are demons. Don't tell nobody I told you. You get your ass banned off Facebook for life. YouTube, Instagram, you can't be on social media. Arrogance is the number one contract. Because arrogance is where we get the word arrogant. It is an offensive display. It's offensive. Remember the Bible says pride cometh before the fall. Arrogance means overbearing pride. It's not just regular pride. That means you're on a level where there's a bunch of devils. Arrogance means you arrogant. That just simply means that your superior, overbearing pride. It's not just regular pride. Because remember, you can't fall unless you got this. So you can't be poor unless you got pride. But it can be regular pride. It's like you are overbearing, not you personally, but people get on. When I talk to a poor person that has money problems, I'm talking to an arrogant mother beep. I know they're arrogant. Now, remember it's a contract that you signed unknowingly. So this is why I'm making you aware of it. Because awareness is how you destroy it. Because when you are aware of it, you make a decision. Shit, I'm going to keep it. It's working for me. Or you going to say, what? Shit, I don't want to be that no more, man. I didn't know, Doc. Just like I did. When you know better, you do better. See, arrogance is just a unwarranted assumption, claim, or attribute. Arrogance is an attribute or a assumption or a scribe that's assigned to another. Ooh. Oh, snap. Yeah. They don't teach that at Ebenezer Baptist. So I got attributes and characteristics. I don't have no 8s nowhere in my chart, in none of my life optimization circles. I don't have the number 8. So if I say I want to be an 8, and I start walking around, and I say, you know what, shit, I want to make decisions, dog. You feel me? And I want to be an executive. I want to be a money magnet. I want to be ambitious. I want to be powerful. I want to be a mentalist. If I make that my primary frequency wave of vibration. The number 8, that is not one of my attributes and characteristics. So if I incorporate the number 8 into my repertoire, my mind becomes full of that attribute and characteristics. That is how I become arrogant or an archon or arrogance or overwhelming pride. I take on an attribute or characteristic that is not mine. Number 1, this is the 4-headed horsemen that they talk about in the book of Revelations. These are the 4 demons that keep you trapped in Groundhog's Day. These 4 demons control the 4 modules of wealth, health, wisdom, and relations. This is the foundation. This is where I started at 25 years ago, really 35 years ago. But back then, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was young, dumb, and stupid. I ain't young, dumb, and stupid no more. If you do not deal with your arrogance, Stop trying to be shit. In other words, stop being fake. Be authentic, man. The shit that don't belong to you, let it go. Do not do nothing that doesn't elevate. Stop doing shit that you tolerate. Stop hanging out with people that tolerate. You know they don't like you, you don't like them. But you hang out with them because you need something for them. So you over there kissing their butt because you want to borrow money. Not you personally, but other people, you know. Stop doing that. Why? That's not part of that's an emotional blockage on a cellular level that is connecting you with that vibrational devil. Arrogance. Number 2, once you deal with arrogance because it controls wealth, you got to deal with your passivity. You're passive. Passiveness controls health. Don't tell nobody I told you. Now, because you are passive, you have no passion. Passiveness means that you cannot pass I on. Instead, you pass I vibe, virus. You passing on a virus. It's a mind virus. When you're passive, source code touch the mind of your people. What do you do when you are passive? It's kind of like the opposite, if you want to use that term, of passion. So passive means that you are not participating actively. Passive means that you're not evolving. You're not involved. Passive means the absence of active participation. All health problems come from passive. I may call that shit lazy. If you're overweight, you know why you're overweight? I know why you're overweight. Passive. I'm overweight right now. I've been going through, and I've been like noticing. I was like, damn, what does it feel like? When people tell me this, to be obese. Like this is the most weight I've ever carried. Remember, there's no such thing as weight. There's just waste. So this is the most waste I've carried. And I think that's one of the things that led to my knee problems. Because I'm carrying extra weight. And I noticed as my stomach protrudes, my back, I'm starting to get lower back aches. And I noticed everything is more difficult. Something that somebody used to take for granted. And I did this because I had a friend of mine that's extremely obese. He said, you don't know what it feels like to be obese. He said, you always been in shape, Doc. You just don't, you walk around talking about 30 pounds, 30 days. Nigga, you don't understand what it's like to be obese, homie. I'm doing this for him. So I'm going to match his weight. I'm almost there. I got about another 10 more pounds to add. Then I'm going to videotape it for you guys. And I'm going to do a whole course. And whatever amount of weight it is, it might be 100 pounds. It might be 150 pounds. It may only be 50 pounds to get back down to my goal weight. And I'm going to do it in 30 days. And I'm going to film it. I'm going to film what I eat. I'm going to film what exercise. And I'm going to do because overweight people, they have a hard time. And I understand because now I'm overweight. I understand it. They have a hard time just walking upstairs. They can't just jump on a treadmill and just go. They don't like, now I see, I'm like going to the gym where I'm obese too. Now I get it. I never got it because I've never really been overweight. Something as simple as if I drop a fork and I got to bend down, I got to spread my legs to make room for my stomach. I never had to do that before, Brother Joseph. It's, it's put on my socks. You know how hard it is to put on your socks when you're obese? I never thought about it, but now that I'm obese, because I wanted to, I don't teach shit I don't do. And I don't recommend that you guys do it because, again, I have passion. I'm not passive. So I would never tell somebody else not to drink if I've never drunk. So I ain't going to teach you no class. So unless I go and become an alcoholic and then get off alcohol, then I'll start teaching it. So I had a Theo-City nutrition class. I've been teaching it for years, but I've always been in shape. So I had somebody challenge me, Sister Shirley of the West, and when they said it, I was like, you know what, that's a good point. So I'm going to take some before and after pictures so you guys can see the difference. So when I talk, now I already talk as one who has authority. But Reverend Cheryl, when I drop this 150 pounds, Reverend Cheryl, I'll be talking mad shit then, Reverend Cheryl. Because all of these low vibrational knuckles who talking about, oh, you don't understand. No, I understand. I know what it feels like now. And it is true. My back hurt, you have headaches. You get rashes. I got rashes in my skin. Because why? Well, all that mucus is trying to get out. All the shit that Dr. Sabi says. My vision, I noticed that my vision is weird. My vision is not as sharp. Because the pressure I can feel behind my eyes, because I can't get oxygen to the blood vessels. Tingling in your hands and feet. The biggest thing, though, tie my shoes and put on my socks and shoes. I never noticed. I was obese in Carolina, so I never noticed that damn, it's hard tying your shoe, walking beside a flag. But if you passive, and what if I don't do nothing? Now I'm gonna do no treadmill. I'm gonna do no running. I'm gonna do no weight weight bearing or high impact training like I always do, frequent intense. And I'm gonna still get my intensity up by doing simple calisthenics and prove that you can be obese and you can still get in shape. I'm just gonna prove it. Why? Because people tell me all the time you can't do it. Now I know why you can't do it. If you are passive, you will have health problems. Because passive, by definition, that's a contract. Contract is when you communicate with that demon. So there's a demon. His name is P-A-T-I. Remember, be careful with the pronunciation. When you say the name of the demon, you summon the demon. Certain times you guys will hear me spell out things, not because I have a, pronunciation button that I can pronounce. But that's called coming forth by day. To bring out a demon into the day. To summon the demon. That's why when Jesus said, demon, what is your name? First thing he did before he got rid of the demon, he asked the name of the demon. Do you know that demon, know what it means? Submissive. The word passive means to submit. But being submissive, because remember a lot of ladies they say, oh, you need to submit to your man, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, y'all don't know what it means. It means to undergo. It means to go under somebody. Undergo. So the only way that you can have health issues is to experience something underneath where you should be. In other words, that means that you're dropping down to a level where you should not be. And that's where we get the word submit. Now, I know a lot of people think that is a dangerous word, but ladies, in case you don't know, I'll share this with my daughter. And it saved her marriage. If you're in a relationship, ladies, anybody want to know how to get a man for life? If y'all don't already know. Ladies, men like status. Now, most men, this is a man code. Some men, they don't even know because we don't call it status. Men, we like reputation. We like our reputation. That's why, ladies, to keep a man, you gotta give him respect. Men, to keep a woman, you gotta give her love. You got to make her number one and only love. Ladies, to get a man and keep a man, you got to give him admiration. You got to make him feel important, respect. But respect really is status. What is status? Status is when I got something that you don't. Ooh. Most men don't even know this. Men are driven by status. Why y'all think I'm driving around in a convertible $100,000 Corvette that can only fit two people? I had to break this down for my wife when she kept asking, well, I don't understand why you got to buy that thing. Well, why you got to buy that? Why? So when I broke it down, she's like, oh. People ask me, like, why did I marry my wife? I could have married a lot, especially now that I got status. Why do rich men marry young, beautiful, usually white women? Why all these big-time black athletes are with white women? Status. Why? If it's white, it's right. In the subconscious of a black man, a white woman is the slave master's prized possession. So the psychology behind why black men, all the black, I don't know, even, I'm trying to think, damn, I don't think I know no black big-time athlete that's not married to a white woman. I know Steph Curry, but shit, he ain't really black, and his wife ain't really black either, so he don't really count. He already margined out because remember we got to get the genes out. Now remember, this is not about race from the perspective of what you call race. This is a health issue. Follow me. This is how do I get you to submit? That's what this is about. So I can go further on, but the point that I'm making is what? Status. What is status? Status is scarcity. What is scarcity? Scarcity is an attribute and characteristic that other people don't have. A lot of young black women, they don't have the ability to submit. Why? Shit, I got money too. You can do it, I can do it too. I don't like confrontation, especially not with my wife or with my significant other. Because number one, I'm physically stronger. I don't give a damn how big and bad you are. It's always numbing to me when a woman wants to take on a man physically. It's always interesting. But the question is why? Because of this. Passive. You know, the passive means to yield voluntarily. It doesn't mean that you do not have the power. It means that you are okay with yielding. That's what it means, to yield. So men marry women that have the capacity to yield. You think I'm going to go out into public with a woman that's going to embarrass me in public? I travel, I do a lot of stuff. You think I'm going to take my wife to somewhere to an event with me, and I'm going to get up there and I'm speaking and I ask her something and she's going to embarrass me in public? Men don't marry women who don't have respect, period. Oh, we'll hit it on the side. Oh, we'll come to your house at night. We ain't going to take your ass out into no day into a public event. And he said, I don't know no man that'll do that. Men don't marry hard-headed women. Now, you may want to define that, though. It means to yield. What does that mean? It means to assist or to give a natural process of cultivation. That's what yield means. Men marry women who can assist them. But if you passive, you don't have the ability to assist because you are not submissive. That's a health issue. All health issues are the result of the inability to engage in the natural process of cultivation. That's what this word means. It ain't got nothing to do with all the other stuff people talk about. This is about cultivation. It's a natural process. If you stop engaging in God's natural laws, you're going to have a health issue. I don't care who you are. All health problems are the inability for you to engage in the natural, emphasis on the word natural, This shit is natural, man. Just like drinking water. This shit is not rocket science. It's a natural process of cultivation. Now, you just want to ask yourself the $1 billion question, Doc. What the hell is cultivation? It's like putting a seed in the ground. I want to cultivate. So that's what Jesus came to do. So cultivation is a state. It's a mental disposition. It's the state of being cultivated. It means refinement. A lot of females are not refined. It means I'm going to prepare the soil so I can put a freaking seed in it and the shit's going to grow. That's a contract. That's why you got an energy block. That is why you will not be successful. Not you personally, but people you know. Number one, arrogance. If you got a money problem, you are unconsciously arrogant. You don't know, but hey, if you got a health problem, when you see people with health problems, what you are seeing is a passivity or passive problem. They have inertia. They are suffering from inertia. But you want to ask yourself why. And then you break it all the way down to they are violating the natural process of cultivation. Number three, the third contract that you got to examine and destroy, because this is an unconscious contract that you sign. Contract means communication. Now, that communication may not be conscious, but you are unknowingly communicating with a low vibrational entity. Number one, arrogance. Number two, passive. Number three, victim. If you're a victim, you dumb as a box of rocks. Victim. Man, I have not met one Negro in the hood that's not a victim. Everybody in the hood is a victim. Man, Doc, you don't understand, brother. Whoo, white man with my ass, Doc. He got his foot on my neck, man, if it wasn't for Joe Biden being in office. Before that, if Trump wasn't in office. Before that shit, if it wasn't for Obama, man, the nigga was a sellout, Doc. Obama, man, he ain't did shit for the black man. Always got excuses, man. If you are a victim, if you married to that demon of victimhood, that controls wisdom. You cannot be wise if you're a victim. Now, we need to define this dead demon as well. Because this one, again, emotional causes, these are demonic soul ties. You are tied, your soul, your mind, your will, your emotion, your imagination is tied to that demon. And a demon is somebody's disposition. Don't get all Hollywood on me, man. Don't get all religious. This is not The Exorcist. The shit's in your head, man. Heaven is a state of mind, so is hell. Now, the moment that you can understand this and get out of religion and get back to the Bantu. Bantu is the original language. That's another study for another time. Aramaic comes from Bantu. Because you never heard it, that does not make it true. The shit's varied, bro. They don't want you to overstand because then that means that now you have the control. Now you can replenish. Now you can rule. Now you can multiply. Now you can self-govern. You don't need no TD Jakes or a couple of dollars or the government. You do this shit yourself. Once you become a self-governor, then you become fruitful. Your wealth is tied to your ability to self-govern. I mean, get off the sofa yourself. Stop being a damn victim. So victimhood controls what we call wisdom. Wisdom is the application of knowledge. So you cannot apply knowledge. I ain't saying you ain't got it. I'm saying you cannot apply it. You know what to do. You know if you burn more calories than you consume, you will lose weight. But you don't do it. Why not? You're a victim. Why are you a victim? Because you're not victorious. How come you're not victorious? A victim is someone who suffers from destructive thought. Period. Drop the mic. Exit stage left. A victim, let me get back on stage. A victim is someone who has been deceived or cheated by his own, her own emotional ignorance. Remember what we said, number one? Arrogance, overbearing pride. Number two, submissive. That means the demon Kalego inside of the series Archive 81. Kalego. That is a daemon that destroys the natural process of cultivation. Kalego. That's a bad demon right there. He will keep your ass broke as a joke. Make sure that you are suffering from a stroke. After Kalego finish your ass, then you got to deal with Vatigias, victim. Once that demon get on you, you become what is called in the Latin phrase, victima, victim, which means sacrifice. Yeah, they don't do sacrifices in the open now. They sacrifice your freaking brain. So your mind has been hijacked and you don't even know. You walk around here, damn, Doc, I don't understand, my brother. Praise Jesus. Life is hard out here. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I know what's going on. Hanging out with Kalego. You're hanging out with Erdogan. You're hanging out with the Archon. You're hanging out with Erdogan, which means arrogance. That demon is the head demon of the four horsemen. That's in the book of Revelation. Their daddy is Apollyon. And the inability for you to stop being victimized, which is the inability for you to exercise, which is the ability to apply. It's not that you don't have knowledge. You know more shit than I do. Everybody on this call, y'all been listening to me for years, man. Y'all know this shit from us and backwards. Yet, some of you high vibrational like Kibinons are still suffering from wealth, health, wisdom, and relationship issues because of these four demons. Now you become the sacrificial lamb, a victim. That takes us to the last day moon, the last diamond. That's what diamonds are, a girl's best friend. Yeah, ladies, y'all like them diamonds. Now, men, we like them diamonds too, because them diamonds, those contain the vital composition of effective deduction. This is what is called syntax. This is the structure of language that brings about doublespeak. In the ancient text, it's called Chibabiulo. You don't want to mess with that dude. That dude been around for a long time. Well, I don't even want to say his name because, it's kind of like Chewbacca. His name is very close to Chewbacca. So we can say Chewbacca without summoning the demon. Remember, when you say the name of the demon, you better make sure you can handle the demon because he's going to show up, bro. Remember, demon is it's not like in the movies. It's a mind virus. The fourth mind virus that you must address. And remember, this is all inside of my book, Blueprint for Success. It's available for the next 3 or 4 days for free. If you're part of the Life Management System, you already got the book in Module 6, the Wisdom Module. But if you want to, get it again, just go to the website, masterteacher33.com. On the homepage, there's a link that takes you over to my Payloads account, and you can pick up a copy, the PDF copy of this book, Cladonomics, Temple Builder. We've got to build a temple. DNA, because there's a DNA imprint that is controlling your soul. The fourth demon that controls relationships. That is called, the English word is called separation. Now, this word, separation, is a very interesting word. So we've talked about wealth, health, wisdom. The last piece of the puzzle is relationships. Now, remember, I gave you guys a secret sauce of why, like, for example, I could have married anybody, and I married my wife. She don't even know why. She even asked me this today, and I told her. Because you add to my status. How? She don't got a lot of money. She got good money, good job and stuff. She's not blonde hair, blue eyes. She's, I call her triple chocolate. But in her eyes, she's like, well, you know what? I'm not a model. I'm not like the world's definition of beauty. There's some women y'all, ladies, y'all know how y'all do. Y'all start to question your own value and your own worth. Because you're like, this guy could talk to anybody. Why he with me? Status. Why do I drive a $100,000 car? Status. Why did I just buy $1 million house? Status. So I have a relationship with status. Why? Separation. What is separation? See, anybody heard of this word called scarcity? Why are diamonds a girl's best friend? Because the diamond industry has artificially created something called scarcity. It means shortness of supply. It means it's infrequent. Well, there are certain attributes or characteristics that's a shortage. So a relationship is based upon your ability to understand the demon called separation. Because, you got to get rid of a mental state that is being separated. So separation means a gap. Separation is a point where harmony creates disharmony. Oh, snap. See, I don't like crazy. I can't do crazy. I like peace. When I come home, I can't do love and hip hop. Now, you can watch that shit on TV. You just don't bring that shit to my house. Ladies, especially some of my beautiful Al-Kibilan sisters. Y'all want to argue and fight? Man, I've been working all day. You think I'm going to come home, argue and fight in my own house? You better get up out of here with that shit. Now, let me make sure y'all understand, because, again, relationship, what is the number one problem with relationships? The word separation means to keep apart. Let me make sure y'all understand, men and women. You got a relationship problem? I know why. Because we ain't living together. Why not? Because there is a division. Separation means divide. It means to force apart. Now, last I checked, relationships means relationship. So how are we going to be together if we're apart? I mean, I'm asking for a friend. I need y'all to understand what's going on. Because some people, like I do relationship counseling all the time. People have a problem with relationship, and as soon as they start talking, and then she interrupts him, and he interrupts her, and I'm like, oh shit, no wonder y'all ain't together. I see why. I recommend a divorce immediately. But they're religious, and they believe, well, doc, this God put us together, my brother. What God put together, let no man divide asunder. I don't think God put y'all together. It may have been a God, but I don't know if it was the God. It may have been a God. Probably was Kalego. Yeah, he the one probably put y'all together. Or Akruman. It may have been Balthazar. He like doing that shit too. Oh, I know. It probably was Asmodeus. Asmodeus liked putting two vibrational mother beeps together to cause disharmony. Source code is not about division. Source code is about unity. The word divide means to cut off. There is a contract that you've signed with that day moon that allows you to cut off. Do you see how many people? Ooh, especially this new generation. Ooh, y'all talk to the young generation of our Kibbilans, especially the females. They would cut your ass off so quick. Go on TikTok. Talk to this new generation, like 25 and under, male and female. That's why TikTok is so good right now. Why? Shit's short, bruh. You got 30 seconds to get the shit out. After a while, my attention span is gone. That's why the internet is so powerful. That's why all social media, because it's not social, it's anti-social. And the longer you spend on social media, the less social you are. Because the whole way that the program works is to make you learn how to cut people off. The shit does not create relationships. It destroys them. That's the system, though. So if you cannot expose that day moon for what it is, it's a day walker. That demon is walking around in broad daylight. Some of y'all probably married to one. I mean, not you personally, but people you know. So relationships, see, let me make sure you understand. This is your movie. The word movie means move me. So you should only be engaging in activities that move you. Why are you hanging out with people who barely tolerate you? You should only hang out with people who elevate you. This is a mental disposition. This is control. So the four major demons of control are, number one, arrogance. Number two, passiveness. Number three, victimhood. Number four, separation. Those are the English words for the day moons that control the four horsemen of the book of Revelations. These four horsemen, they work for strong concordance number 10. Now, when you get a chance at your convenience, because you got to understand the etymology of this shit. So according to, strong concordance, again, look it up. Strong concordance number 10. When you get opportunity, now, look up. Strong concordance number 10, you're going to see this word. Abaddon, destruction. It is Zerubbabel. Another study for another time. So remember, they want to give you COVID-19. They smart though, because COV, covenant, ID, identity. 19. Okay, I'm feeling you. What is 19? 19 is Ichha. So Ichha of Ibhach means slaughter in English. Please go to Google, type in strong concordance number 19. Because remember, it is COVID 19. That started your decline. Now remember, all of the languages come from Bantu. So you remember Aramaic, Hebrew, Greek, Chaldean comes from the Bantu language. Where we get, again, the Ethiopian language, which is one of the oldest Bibles, which is at Timbuktu, which is the Ethiopian Bible, which comes from the Ajiji. Another study for another time. So this strong concordance number 19, it means to slaughter. What? Who trying to get slaughtered? Y'all up for some slaughtering? Who wants to slaughter you? Now, let's go with 9 and 1 is what? 10, right? Last I checked. So when you add the number 9 and the number 1, 9 plus 1 is 10, right? I mean, I'm not a mathematician. But 9 plus 1 is 10. So we just did strong concordance number 10. Because we break it down, so it means, so right down there, remember, because this is what's going on. Remember, because what we're talking about is how come you're not in control and replenishing your own life. This is module 3. This is day 4. We're breaking down contract law. So there is a contradiction in your brain right now. The contradiction is there because of a contract. I gave you a contradiction. This is contradictory behavior. You're doing shit that doesn't make sense because you've been conned. And you've been conned means to swindle, C-O-N. Troll, S-T-R-O-L. The second L is silent, means demon. So a troll is go to dictionary.com, type in troll, you can see large clumsy demon. What is this large clumsy demon doing though? He's swindling you. How? Well, he's introducing contradictory statements into the brain. So therefore, there's no full disclosure, there's no meeting of the minds, and there's no consent. You cannot have a contract unless I can manipulate, control via contracts, so I can make you compartmentalize, which brings about chaos, so I can collect your energy. This is an energy distraction matrix. Everything is based upon the reticular activating system. The word reticular means reptilian. As I said yesterday, why is there a reptile in your brain? I need one. I know one of you high vibrational like Kibbilons that just graduated from some historically black college, and you walk around with a damn Greek brand on your shoulder, and you just graduate from Phi Beta Kappa or whatever. and you're a black man with a Greek brand, please explain that shit to me. I got my all ears, bro. But I know one of you high vibrational Negroes out there can explain to me why you got a reptilian in your brain. I know you can explain to me that you got a triune brain. And on the base of your brain is a polyon. But I need you to explain to me why. Well, strong course number 10, because remember 9 means slaughter. 10 means Apollyon. 1 and 0 leaves me with 1. 1 means alpha. Let's reverse engineer it. So alpha, Aragon, number 1, we got the head, Apollyon, daemon of slaughter. Let me say it again slowly. Strong course number 1. That means the archon. That is the arrogance. That is the Aragon. The big one. Head demon. The alpha. Not alpha and omega, the alpha. He's separated from the omega. Strong course number 1. Then we go to strong course number 10. Abaddon. Alpha, Abaddon. Zerubbabel. But it came from the 9. The 1-9. So we got the head, Apollyon of slaughter. So you mean to tell me you signed a contract with the head demon of killing folks? And you wondering why your shit's not working? That's why there's no wealth, health, wisdom, and relationships. That's the whole purpose of the life management system. That's why I'm in business. I'm in business to expose that dude, those dudes. Your job is to align your mind with your God-given design. That way you can shine. That's why I'm in business. That's why I wake up every morning early, and that's why I stay up every night late. Because you sleeping with the enemy. He in your head. She in your head. It's in your head. So your mind has to be full of your status. I call that purpose. Because if the mind is full, how can Apollyon, Abaddon, Asmodeus, Leviathan, Belphegor, how can they get in? Kalego can't get in unless you let him in. And the whole purpose of this is module 3. 21 days. We're on day 4. Tonight we continue with day 5. These emotional blocks, they are emotional contracts. And this is exposing what is called occult art. So when you see the hieroglyphics, it does something to the brain. That's why if you go to Egypt and you look at the hieroglyphics, it does something to you on a cellular level. So what we're doing is exposing, because observation creates access. This is a guide for living. This is the principles of life. This is how you deal with the strong man. This is how you deal with strawmanos or strawminos homo. This is House Joint Resolution 192. That created the fictional rules of the man made of straw. The fake you to live in the metaverse. This is a manufactured certificate of origin. You call that shit your birth certificate. This puts you into maritime law to create a uniform, a body, for commercial use. This is part of the UCC. This is putting your photons and your phonons into a package called a picture or a pixel. This is pixel. That's why you cannot go to Google unless you understand pixels. Go to Google, type in, Google, I meant Facebook. But if you do Facebook marketing, you got to understand Facebook pixels. Go to Google and type in what is Facebook pixels. So you mean to tell me Facebook is controlling you with your data? Because your data controls matter. That's why you got an all caps name and state. And so we don't understand that we have to learn how to govern our all caps name and state. We've got to take control over the Treasury Direct Account, your TDA, using the Uniform Commercial Code financial statement. And we can get out of sea jurisdiction and get back onto land jurisdiction. So we can fight on that level and go to court and declare ourselves sovereign and say that we're no longer a citizen And we could use, Miller's system of syntax law. Or you guys can do what I do and understand mind hacking and make your vacation and your vocation your vocabulation. Make your vocabulary your vocation and make your vocation your vacation. And you can vacate the system by over understanding the rules of physics that govern all mental and physical expression in this 3D reality, by understanding the reality of the mind-generated matrix. Your matrix is generated by the mind. You must be the vibrational form of the thing that you wish to manifest. When you under and understand Psalms 24, and you oscillate and vibrate on the level where there is no devil, bam! Now, you go from survival to thrival. You disconnect from the reptilian brain. And you go through the paleo brain to get to the neo brain. Neo, N-E-O. Turn the letters around, O-N-E. You become neo in the matrix. The one. Now you use the matrix. You can go in and out of the matrix. You can fly around like Neo. Why? That's the metaphysics and the science, and the metaphysics and the science of the universal laws of Jesus Christ. These are the heavenly laws that I'm sharing with you in Module 1, Module 2, and now we're in Module 3. We got to go to Module 4 next. That's when you understand that management is more important than prayer. God gives you what you can manage. He don't give you what you pray for. Brothers and sisters, when you get to that level, there is no devil. Why? Because your mind has created a vibrational form. And everything that's in your vibration is what you formed. So unless you form the devil, there is no devil. These are the rules that govern everything. These are the rules that govern the game of life. Stop creating contradictory statements in the brain. When a contradictory statement comes in, when you say, I am wealthy, and arrogance comes into the brain, you remain humble. You remain thankful. You continue to operate and vibrate in a level where there is no contradiction. Get rid of arrogance by oscillating and vibrating in humility. Get rid of passivity by being confident and or assertive in your area. Get rid of victimhood by being victorious in your head. Remember, do not fight this in reality. If you do, you're going to get smoked. In other words, don't go to the bank and ask the bank how much money you got. That's reality. So what do? You go to the metaverse, not the one that's created by Zuckerberg. For real, right now, if you got a money problem, what do? You get attention and you offer value. What does that mean? I'm going to do a short YouTube video in a few minutes after this. I'm going to break down what do I mean by, number one, you got to get attention. How do I get attention? Go on my Facebook page right now and look at the video I posted this morning. You do how you get attention. Number one, solve a problem. Number two, help people reach a goal in life. So I'm putting on a lot of weight, and I'm going to take it off. So I'm going to help people reach a goal. Number three, how you get attention. Show people you are enjoying life. That's why I do videos driving around in my convertible $100,000 car. And so I posted videos, and my friend, I may post a video today. They just started building on the house, building from the ground up. I'm showing people I'm enjoying my life. Because everybody saying, hey, the death jab, Doc. Oh, look at the economy. Look, people just saying, is that real? Absolutely. A lot of people are going through adversity right now. Get attention. Once you get my attention, offer me a solution. What is a solution? Number one, a solution is free help. A solution is budget-friendly solution. A solution is a big ticket item, and a solution is a subscription to my services. I do all four of those. Like I just did it today. Free book. You guys go to the website. I put the link on there where you can get the book for free. I posted that on YouTube. So I'm going to take a break, go work out, come back 30 minutes later, 45 minutes later, I'll be on my YouTube channel at masterteacher33.com so I can go through this process of doing what? See, the enemy wants you to feel like, number one, you are overwhelmed, so then you start operating in pride, you start faking like you got money. Because that's arrogance. You acting like you ain't got, like you know you ain't got no money, but you acting like you got money. That's arrogance. Or he wants you to be passive. He wants you to avoid the natural process of cultivation. You become passive. That means you ain't doing shit. Because you remember what I said, when you think, you doubt. When you doubt, you do less. When you do less, you think. When you think, you doubt. When you doubt, you do less. When you do less. Thinking is sinking. Stop thinking. What do I do, Doc? Stop thinking, okay? I'm stop thinking what I do next. Get attention. How do I get attention? Say something. A saying is a seance. A seance is science. What does that mean? People are going to be attracted to you. Why? Your energy. Now, when you got my attention, I go to your Facebook page and I see you sitting up there posted up with your new car, on your bicycle, combing your hair, brushing your teeth. Natural shit. Natural. Don't reinvent the wheel. You know, what do? You wake up in the morning. Okay, the way that you take a shower, I don't take a shower that way. Tell me how you take a shower. Oh, you don't take a shower? Okay, tell me why you don't. You like your natural funk. Okay, do you brush your teeth? Okay, I brush my teeth side to side. How do you brush yours? Okay, you brush yours up and down. Okay, cool. How come? Okay, I don't use a toothbrush that you buy from the store. I use a toothbrush that only has one row of bristles that are really sharp, and so I buy it from this place called Oral Wellness over in Hawaii. There's this dentist, he came up with a new toothbrush that's better because it helps to remove in between the teeth, kind of like flossing. That's the whole show. That's the whole product. Because I brush my teeth differently than everybody else. So I lose weight differently. I make money differently. So what do you do different? Whatever that is, talk about it. Don't try to learn something. Don't go on YouTube and say, I want to learn how to do hair. If you ain't been doing hair all your whole life, you never talk about hair. Talk about shit you've done. That's how you get attention. Because what? I can feel your energy. People don't buy you, they buy your energy. And then you offer a solution. What is the solution? Whatever you do. Is everybody going to buy your shit? Hell no. Only the people that's part of your tribe is going to respond to your vibe. So what if nobody responds? There's going to be your own tribe that responds to your vibe. Stop trying to market your shit to everybody. Never post something that doesn't get my attention. Why? I'm going to keep scrolling. So you posting every day. That's cool. Are you saying some shit that's going to get my attention? Oh, you not? Oh, okay, next. So let me make sure everybody understands how to kill these demons. Because your mind should be full. So really, I'm doing 3 shows a day. Later on tonight, we're going to continue with day 5 of contract law. But before we do that, we got to kill some more demons. We're going to make sure you guys understand how to get rid of arrogance, how to get rid of passiveness, passive, how to get rid of victimhood. Walk around, oh, poor me, nobody loves me but Jesus. Nah, man, we don't do that shit over here. You are victorious. You have been given everything that you need for life and godliness. Victory. And instead of separation, we're going to show you how to bring about togetherness. You see, brothers and sisters, one standing alone is easily defeated. There's 20 people on this call right now. If everybody on this call, there's 20 of us. And we appointed Sister Diane Coleman as a treasury. And there's 20 people on this call, and we say we're going to give $5. All 20 of us give $5, that's $100. And we do that for 1 week. That's $100 times 4. $5, that's like shit. That's you blow that at McDonald's. That's 4 weeks in a month, that's $400. We take that $400, we multiply that times 12. And again, it's not like we're going to, blow the bank out, but we got to start. That's $4,800. We take that $4,800 And we do that for 5 years. That's $24,000. And we take that $24,000, we go out buy some land, we go build a business. Or we decide, you know what, we're going to take that $24,000 and we're going to give it to the people, the person in the group that come up with the best business idea or who has the best marketing idea. And we give that $24,000 to that individual, and we all are partners in, let's say Dr. Span has come up with a great idea to help establish feminine wisdom, and we're going to market it to young Al-Kibilan sisters because they need it, because they're walking around and they are very divisive, because they're confrontational, because they say, shit, I got rights, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to be disrespected. I don't need no man. I ain't taking no shit out for nobody. Unknowingly, that energy is hostile. People don't marry hostile energy. At least I don't know no black man that's going to marry a hostile energy. I don't care how big your chi-chis are. I ain't saying we ain't going to hit it, but I'm saying we ain't going to take you home and put no ring on it. Ask Cardi, she'll tell you. So if Dr. Span come up with a program that's going to help our young Al-Kibilan sisters to vibrate in virtuous feminine energy, she said you can get any man you want. Every man wants a woman who understands how to compliment instead of compete. I don't know no man who don't. So we all invest in Dr. Span's program. We start promoting her book and our course. And we all, every time we sell one, we get 50%. Dr. Span get the other 50%. We could do that every week. All we got to do is one thing. Come together instead of separating. Busters, I love you. I appreciate you. We'll see you back in about an hour on my YouTube channel at masterteachers33.com. God bless.